Okay, psych everybody. We are back for our redo here. I got Tricia back. We're having some technical issues, but I think we've worked them out. Fingers crossed. So if you are just joining us, my name is Ivana. I am here for another day and another lunch break with you. And we brought Tricia, who is the president and CEO of the Exceptional Foundation. We brought Tricia on to talk about how this is a hard time for all of us with typical needs, let alone explaining this COVID-19 situation to our loved ones, our family, our friends that have special needs. So Tricia's here to explain a little bit about what the Exceptional Foundation does and how they're getting through this time, how they are talking to their members about the situation, and kind of what you can do if you've got a loved one at home that has special needs and you're struggling to keep them entertained in their normal routine, keep them socialized with their friends and everything. So Tricia, first, thank you so much for putting up with all of our technical problems. And just tell us a little bit about the Exceptional Foundation for those of our viewers who might not be familiar.
The Exceptional Foundation, we provide social and recreational activities for people that are with special needs. The age is from the 5 to our oldest, I believe now, is 81. The school systems do a great job of including the people with special needs. But then when people graduate from high school, our guys are left behind, but they want the exact same thing. So that is what we provide. Everything from sports to a lot of socialization, which has been very difficult, to dances, we go on numerous field trips. We take them out of town, and whatever they ask for as far as social and recreation, we provide that.
So this is, I'm sure, a really hard time then for people who are very used to that routine and getting
Yes.
that socialization through the Exceptional Foundation. So how have you explained, now just for all of our viewers to note, the Exceptional Foundation building is closed. So how have you explained that to your members that they can't come to this facility that they've been coming to every day, some of them for years?
Exactly. Well, we start off by telling them that this is a red flag moment. And a red flag to most of the people with special needs means that we have a situation that has to change. It's similar to what we did to the snowstorm. This isn't a plan, this isn't scheduled, but it's happened. So with that, we immediately tell them, try to understand their feelings. I know you're upset, I know you're confused, but it will be okay again. But right now we're doing this just to kind of empathize and help them express their feelings of concern, what's going on in time. The best thing is not to tell them when it's going to be over, because none of us really know, is that in the future, we will be back at this Exceptional Foundation. And we look at each child or each person, each adult as an individual, and try to connect them through Zoom or whatever ways we can, so that they can stay connected. Just explain their feelings and to tell the parents that it is what it is. And if whatever they like and whatever routine you can keep them in at home will make it easier for everyone. One of the things we do is also called social stories. And that is to tell them what they did prior to this, what we're going to do in the future, and just to say, this is what we're going to do in the meantime.
That's a really good idea, even for those of us with typical needs that don't, have to, aren't so focused on our routine. Because I know my daily routine has been messed up, obviously, by working from home, obviously not at the office every day. And that's hard for everybody. And that is something that none of us understand. So I'm sure that for you and for your employees, it's very difficult to explain something that even we don't understand.
Yes, and I've had a parent even yesterday say that her son they were trying to take him for a walk, and he was going, but you told me I couldn't go anywhere. Why am I going for a walk when you told me I couldn't? To try to explain that there is some flexibility in it. My people typically don't have that flexibility. And so when you say you can't go anywhere, just to make sure that you explain it exactly. We're not going out for dinner, but we can walk around the block. Anything, the little details we might need to just go in and put in this time because they are so confused. For instance, our prom was supposed to be Sunday night. And how many of our participants have called, have FaceTimed us, have communicated with each other, have had meltdowns because it's not the prom. And we have continued to send them pictures of last year's prom and say it is coming back. But once again, we're not giving them a date because we don't know it.
You have to tell everybody what you told me the other day about it being on a Sunday, because I thought that was so heartwarming.
What, just about it being on the Sunday?
That Sunday comes every week.
Oh, right. One participant said, well, the prom is on Sunday. And I went, yes, it is on a Sunday. Well, is it next Sunday? Because Sunday does come every week. What Sunday is it coming? And you just go, well, it won't be this Sunday. So we're just telling you it will be closer to October. Another thing, we have Dinnertainment, which is a wonderful fundraiser where our guys are on stage entertaining. And we have postponed it also to October. And they want to know why. And I said, well, they don't understand this virus. I said, so you have more time to practice. They said, but we're good without practicing. We don't need you now.
They're ready. They're ready to go. And I know that, prom would have been devastating for me to be canceled. So I'm sure they're upset, but they will. I know that you are fully 100% committed to putting on that prom come hell or high water.
Well, yeah, you're exactly right. And my staff is excellent in staying in communication with all of the participants now. And the prom is typically, attended by over 100 people, and it will be back. Everything will be back. Everything will be back. I just don't know when.
And something, too, that I think a lot of your participants really thrive on is the socialization that they get by coming to that building every day and seeing their friends and doing their activities. So for a lot of people, being isolated through the social distancing and just being at home so much just with their family or their caregiver, I'm sure that's very difficult to have lost that socialization. So what are you doing and your employees doing to try to keep their friends involved and keep them involved and not get depressed by being alone?
Well, and a lot of our guys do battle depression, and this is kind of sets it into another level because they don't know why it has been taken away. They want to know what they have done wrong. They want to know what they can do to make it right. And our guys continue to ask the same questions over and over again. So the staff is sending out daily activities to all of our participants, the families, the caregivers. We're doing FaceTime every morning and every night. I answer every participant that is on Facebook or on Instagram, and then Zooming in, planning cooking where our staff comes in and all the activities we normally do, but whether it's being cooking or social skills or yoga or even basketball, we are doing that online live for them to see. And we are also going through and have the staff call every one of our participants on their birthday, which there are a lot of those considering we have 750 in Birmingham participants, and also just calling other participants on a daily basis so they can continue to realize we're there. And just to add a little humor to it, I had a phone call from one of the participants the day before yesterday. He said, "Are you at the foundation?" And I said, "No, I'm not. No one is there." And he said, "But you have a key. Why can't you go there? Why can't we go there? Because you have the key." And then, not to get into any politics at all, I have another participant that only asks questions, and he's talking to Alexa, and he said, "Will you please call the president, Tricia, and tell her we want to come back? Please call the president, Tricia." And Alexa says, "No, the president is Donald Trump." So you have to find some humor in everything.
You have to. It's funny you say that because one of our commenters have just said, everybody just needs to stay strong and keep being positive. And that's so true. We got to find the joy in these little moments. And like you say, there are little funny conversations that you're having amidst this tragedy. You are still able to keep that humor and keep that relationship with people.
We also, I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
And yes, I do not have a child that is mentally challenged. I don't know what it's like to live this life, but I do. So my heart is also with the caregivers. When I'm having them text me at 5 o'clock in the morning and saying their child has not been to sleep. So it is also, we're trying to help the caregivers to cope. A lot of the caregivers are still going to work and are asking us for activities that they can take their loved one to work with them, whether it's word searches or color sheets or whatever for that. So, you're right. We have to find humor in this. Our guys are real people, and they're very social people, and just trying to laugh with them and showing them funny things that we're doing also. is part of it. I'm very blessed that I have the staff and the parents are so kind.
It's that was actually what I was going to ask was about caregivers. I know one person has commented saying this is very helpful. I have no idea what to do with mine. And I think a lot of people are in that situation. Like you said, there are caregivers who are maybe family members or friends that are maybe still having to work, or maybe are frustrated because they've been furloughed or laid off or have gone through other things. And they are having to really have a lot of patience and really spread themselves thin with dealing with somebody that is totally in a new realm and is not adjusting well. So the caregivers are caring for them is just as important, I'm sure, as caring for your participants.
Yes, and it's a little bit more, testing on you. And I would recommend, when you want your person that is mentally challenged to do something for a certain set of time, if you could just use the basic timer on your phone, or, I still have one of those old-timey white timers, but put a timer on. This is the beginning of the activity and this is the end, so that it takes you out of the situation. Most of our people can understand the timer, that it's over, but also give them warnings. We're about to do this and this is about to end. And please don't beat yourself up if your person is watching another movie during the day. This is a time that everyone just can breathe and slow down, and whatever is working is right. And if it's not working, then we will find something else. At the foundation, we do not watch television except for one movie a day. And during this situation, I've told the parents, it is really okay if you do it more than once a day, just to keep everyone calm.
So it seems like being calm is a huge factor. I've got another person, Laura Thompson, saying that her special needs programs are canceled, and her loved ones are missing their friends so much. And she is just, thanks for giving me ideas about the Zoom, the FaceTime, the timer with the sheets and things. And again, something that you just said that I think that is important to reiterate is, as a caregiver, you can't beat yourself up for putting on another movie or putting on another TV show, or giving a little more iPad time or screen time. This is a not typical situation, so the care is going to be not typical.
Exactly. And I also had a mother just text me while I was talking to you that said that her son is so anxious that he's not sleeping. And she has called her physician to see if they could just find something just to help him, that he has not been to sleep in several days because of the anxiety. So this is also the time to call your physician and see if there's any help that can be needed in that area.
Is there anything that, any apps that you recommend for parents or caregivers, or any other specific games that you recommend, or places to find word searches?
Yes, we have a lot on YouTube that we're posting every day. And if anyone is calling in, if you're happy to give them my email, that we could just connect them to the videos that we're already sending, and that would help. I know the school systems are doing a lot as well. And at this time, everyone is working together. So please, you can give my email to anyone and we'll see what we can do to help them.
Thank you, Tricia. So any of the parents that I've seen in our comments that are needing these videos or worksheets or things, please connect with me. Let me know in the comments or send me a message, and I will get you connected with Tricia, and she can get you on the list to get those activities. I know I have one commenter that's not happy that I guess he thinks we're together. Roy, we are not together. We are social distancing. She is miles and miles away from me. Technology has just pulled us together. So I appreciate your concern, but we are not sitting in the same room or in the same house. Something else that you and I had talked about were the activities that have been canceled. So do you want to reiterate some of, I know your big fundraiser is the Dinnertainment, when that is moved to?
Oh, goodness. The end of October. I don't know the exact date. I hate to tell you, of the end of October. And then the prom, it is coming back. I promise it is coming back. And if anyone watching doesn't come to the Exceptional Foundation, once again, email me, and their child or adult is welcomed. And our summer camp, we're hoping to start as soon as possible. It's normally towards the end of May, and we don't know what the situation, but we're hopefully going to get our summer camp up and running as quick as possible.
That's another good info, because I'm sure a lot of people really depend on that, especially in this time where kids are already finished with in-person school. some lessons are really dialed down for the rest of the year. Another commenter says that PBS content is also a good alternative when you need to,
Yes.
when you're done with movies or TV, and that some of those, the PBS, Alabama Public Television, has broadcasts
Yes.
and online resources. And those are
And we've
other
also
things you can tap
done
into.
virtual tours. I'm sorry, where you can go in and push the Birmingham Zoo and have a tour behind the scenes of the zoo, and the geographic, the stories have been really good for our people too. Just you can go on a virtual tour of art museums, and they've seemed to have really enjoyed it.
Is that
But I would
good
also like to
keep up
really
the-
stress to the parents to please watch what your person is posting if they're on Facebook or Instagram. I'm so worried. Our guys are victims of inappropriate followers they can come into their Facebook, and that's one of the reasons why we're watching ours so closely. And for the parents to please be aware of that to make sure that people during this time haven't posted anything inappropriate to them.
That's a good reminder, especially when, like we said, caregivers are really spread thin right now and working and caring for children that are at home that would normally be in school. So if you do have a loved one that has special needs and is spending a lot of time online, that's a good point, Tricia, to reiterate, to make sure they're staying safe online and not being victimized on any sort of social media platform.
Yes, and that's what we were supposed to start last week, was internet safety with our participants, because it is something that has even started happening before now, but I'm worried about it escalating.
Because so many more people are online right now.
Yes.
And I do think that it's important to know, have your participants, have they been really diving into learning Zoom and FaceTime and all these different apps? Have they, I'm sure that they've probably learned it a lot quicker than it's taken you and I to learn some of these things.
Yes, they have really been into the Zoom. They love it. And they're also taking pictures of themselves and sending it to the staff so that we can share it with their friends, because once again, we're worried about the internet safety of what they're doing at home, and sharing it with each other. They've really enjoyed that. And we've encouraged it. The ones that are artsy, we've encouraged them doing artwork and showing it to us to try to help the caregivers, to see if the ones that are sporty can go outside and shoot 10 3 throws in a row, just whatever we can do to give them activities to give the caregivers just a tiny bit of space.
That's a really good idea. The 10 free throws. That's a tongue twister.
Thank you.
Doing that, or painting something, a certain picture, or drawing something, and giving them those little goals to hit.
Yes, and we're doing that daily with them to try to just help the caregivers find something for them to do to keep the chill on them. And we've also, our guys are ask the same question over and over and over again. And we have recommended to our staff to actually have something that they can see, whether it's pennies or whatever, and say, you can ask this question, and every time you do, we will move the penny into the other jar. And when all the pennies are out and into the other jar, then that question can't be asked anymore, or I don't have to answer it. Give them a number of times they can ask the question, and then to know that, just so the caregiver doesn't go crazy by having the same question repeated to them.
That's a really great idea, and something that I think a lot of parents and caregivers probably have not thought about. So that's a great idea, and those are things that I know that you are staying in communication with your parents and caregivers about.
Yes, it's okay for a caregiver to tell their special need person, I need a break. They do. I need a break, and so give me 5 minutes, 10 minutes to sit quietly here by myself. And most of the time, our guys do respect that, as long as you have a beginning time and an end time. They really need that time.
This is where that timer comes in again.
Yes.
So, and this is maybe a good time to invest in a timer from one of your
Amazon.
Exactly.
The timer is the ticket to life.
Hey, that's a ticket to my life too, and I am just a typical person, and that helps me a lot as well. So I appreciate all of you watching, and all of those that are commenting. We appreciate it so much. Again, if you need those resources, please let me know. I will contact you with Tricia. Tricia, somebody asked just a minute ago, Where's Tricia located? She is the president and CEO of the Exceptional Foundation, and their building is located in Homewood. They do have affiliates, you said, in Fairhope as well?
In Auburn and Atlanta and in Charlotte. But we receive people from all over, larger than the greater Birmingham area. We have a person that comes in every day from Tuscaloosa, Jasper, Leeds, Shelby County, you name it. And the parents are very willing to get them there. Or caregiver.
So region is not mattering right now. It's just keeping everybody safe and mentally sound. So if you need those resources, please let me know. And thank you for all the support in their comments. I'm sure Tricia is, when she can see them, I'm sure she's going to be very thankful. So again, we appreciate all of you for keeping with us, even with our technical problems. And Tricia, we appreciate all of your help and what you are doing for that community.
Well, thank you, Ivana. I've enjoyed it. And please, once again, share our contact. We'll be glad to help them.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you. And thank you all for watching. And we will see you tomorrow.